Welcome to the BigAss Poker Show, everybody. We are live. Not only are we live on Ontilt Radio's audio feed, but we are also live today from the Ustream feed. I'm trying to pull it up and make sure we're on. But this is the introduction. Welcome. This is the BigAss Poker Show. We have Heather Landay. Say hi.
Hi.
Rudy. Dr. Rudy.
In the house.
Vegas Angel, she's on the outside looking in, smoking a cigarette.
Hello.
This is our first broadcast. It's BigAss Poker. So it's going to be fun.
It is. It's going to be a blast.
Hopefully we can make it more and more fun as we go along.
Yeah, well, of course. The more beers we have, the more fun we're going to have.
Including the beer. If we could, yeah, we'll come up with some fun things to do.
So this is our first night. We are just getting together. As you can see, we've got a big backdrop behind us. In the future, that's going to have the BigAss Poker logo on it. We're going to be doing a lot of different things, talking poker, playing poker.
There he is.
And now we've got Damon Shulenburger.
Look at that smile.
Is
up,
joining
David?
us now also. But we've got a good old friend who's not in his room right now, but we can see his room. Kenny's with us tonight also. As everybody can see on the Ustream right here on the edge. If you can't see the Ustream on Ontilt Radio, just scroll down a little bit. It's on the left-hand side. We're going to be trying to do this every week, every Wednesday from at least 6 to 7 p.m.
Damon.
Are you eating? What are you eating there,
I
David?
like it already. Is that the spicy?
It's the instant oatmeal, dude. It's awesome.
Some cup noodles?
I like instant oatmeal.
Oh, nice. There he is.
There's Kenny. He's wearing his famous Attack Poker hat. Are you now unbanned? Kenny, are you unbanned from Attack Poker now?
No, I just legally owe them the 10,000 back. I'm not banned. I mean, I've always been banned.
No, Heather can hear him because she's wearing the headset.
So you are or you are not banned?
I am banned.
Oh, okay.
Most definitely.
Most definitely. Permanently.
But he still loves the hat. It's the hat. The hat is fitting.
No, I actually really I always liked it. I always liked their logo.
So Kenny, you've moved from the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and you are now on mainland. Tell us about your move. How was it?
You'd think it'd be a lot more expensive, but you can actually ship a crate to Hawaii, like 6 feet tall, as heavy as you want, for like $600. It's not that much. Oh, it's a little bit hectical with kids and all that stuff, but we're settled in. I actually had a job at UPS, but
That's cheaper than a U-Haul, right?
that's pretty cheap. A crate, 6 feet tall.
I mean, if you drive a U-Haul across the country, you're going to pay like a couple thousand. So.
The gas
Yeah.
alone would be $600.
From Honolulu to like SeaTac.
Ah, SeaTac, yeah.
And shipped the car there, 1,100, and blah blah blah. Thought I had a job for UPS, but I failed my driving.
You
I made
failed
it
the
one
driving
block.
test? Not the drug test. You failed the driving test.
Yeah, no, I passed everything. I had the job, and then I went to do the driving thing, and I put it into the reverse on those UPS trucks are up and left. And as soon as I left the place, I got to the light. I put it into reverse, and then you know how you give it a gas. Oh, whoops! Put it into first, and he's like, "That's an auto fail."
Do you have a USB?
That's like my first test. I get a red light during the driving test. I'm like 16, and I say, "Oh shit! That means I can turn left across 3 lanes of traffic, right?" Now auto fail.
Right?
So Kenny, why Oregon?
Oh, my parent. We are in Washington, but
Washington.
the schools here are really good for the kids.
Because last year you were thinking about moving to Las Vegas.
Yeah. And then we got scared. Schools, environment, all that.
You
So
realize we don't live on the strip.
we didn't have that much money. In fact, we were looking at Summerlin. Remember I talked to you about that?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But we decided we would come here first and then see how it goes. Like, we're not planning on staying here indefinitely. But actually really like the city of Vancouver. They have Uber here, so I can drive personal taxi, and
you can play on
they
poker.
also have yeah, and we had poker right across the. Well, there's casinos pretty close. There's La Center up north, but there's just the Encore Club that's in Portland. It's on like Northwest downtown, like Northwest 16th. They have a like $18,000 guaranteed for $60 regularly during the week. Gets about 180 people, and I'm okay with grinding that.
That's pretty good.
I mean, you know, for no casino, it's pretty good. You know,
That's
because I
really good.
remember I studied the dailies a lot when I was in Vegas on those trips, and the best I could see was Orleans had a pretty good, like, I'm talking like numbers, like the amount of people that were at the tournaments. New Orleans seemed like a good one, and then there was like the Aria at like either noon or 1 o'clock. It was bringing in like 140 a day or something like that. And those are pretty good. So
Those are good. Those are good weeklies, though. The weeklies are good, but there's always an event.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have some kind
I'm
of
not
event
even-
going on.
I mean, the weeklies are never. You're not going to get high dollar unless you're going to like the Venetian or the Wynn, where you can win like $12K on the weekend for a $300 buy-in for first, or $9,500 at the Wynn with the $200 rebuy. But those are the best weeklies. Bellagio used to have big ones, but mainly if you just wait for the events, you know, they're here all the time.
yeah, and I do plan on coming to the events because, as you guys know, Nate and Jeff and I are all good friends, and I've met Nate. We spent some time together, and we're real compatible. I think almost everyone's compatible with Nate, though, just because
Yeah,
he's a good person.
With you?
Everybody's compatible with me.
he's a genuinely
Yeah,
good person.
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't have malice, really. I mean, unless someone's completely done something to him.
Except
You
at the poker table, he's a killer.
Yeah. But
Well, do you know anything about our team?
no.
No? Well, we are the BigAss Poker team. We just came up with the name. It took us about a month to decide on it. And we got this radio show, but what we do is we join tournaments as a team and split up our profits.
It's a
It's
good
either
idea.
going to be big ass or desert donkeys.
That works well for the Germans. That's for sure.
Can we have a motto, backsides in motion, or?
You know, I think that kind of stuff will come to us.
Okay.
You know, I mean, we can't just pull that out of thin air, you know?
Do you guys all enter the same tournament?
Yes.
We have a couple times. We're just kind of getting started, and you know, hopefully we can all do the HPT main. Nate's already got his satellite one from Gates Play.
Yeah, HPT.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to sell T-shirts and sweaters and stuff like that, and anything that we make from that goes to the team bankroll.
What about
that sounds fun.
what about live stuff?
We got a corner picked out.
Cash games? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I mean, like, there's a win tournament coming up that's looking pretty juicy
Absolutely.
this weekend.
You guys
We're
do
not just
realize
offering.
that. You
'Cause I'm
realize
all
that
live. I like live poker.
Me too.
if you don't have specific ground rules, a lot of these team concepts crumble. As long as everyone's on the same page, it's fine.
We're all on the same page, and we're starting really small. We want to keep it just the four of us until we have some kind of a success, and
Okay,
then
let's just take this
add new
off.
team members.
And pull it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to carry anyone.
I can't even get involved in the conversation.
No, not at all. Basically, we started off as a team at 6, and the two of them didn't work out. And instead of just jumping and adding a whole bunch of people to the team, we've decided to start with us 4, get a good foundation, get the rules, the payouts, how we're going to do and handle all that, and then add team members as there's success. There has to be success.
Well, there will be. I mean,
There's no doubt
you
in my
guys
mind.
all
We're the BigAss
understand
Poker
the
team.
numbers. But I mean, variance sucks. But that's why you have a team. You're cutting into that variance that way.
Definitely helps that way.
And we're all strong players. Every single one of us.
You'd let people play their own game however they want.
Did we lose connection?
You did. You lost. The whole call got dropped, but everybody's coming back.
Okay, we're back.
There we are.
We're back. Sorry.
Everybody except Angel. Because she didn't
Do you
want
guys accept? Do you, like what I mean is?
Exactly happened.
Do we
Rudy.
accept what?
Yeah, go ahead. What's your question?
Let's say you have queens on the button, and but you're up to like 60 big blinds, and so you raise the small blind, 3x's re-raises, big blind folds, you re-raise again, and the small blind shoves. Are you flipping?
Folding. It depends. Am I playing online? If I'm playing online, I'm folding in a heartbeat because I know what that means. Because I don't know if I'm playing in real life. I've got a lot of experience with that player, so I know if they're playing around doing light moves or whatnot. But yeah, I think that every man for himself. We're just we're all having a good time, and that's the object. We do want to win money, but typically in a situation like that, if I get re-raised, I'm not going to re-raise the re-raise. I'm just calling there to see a flop, and I'm going to tread very lightly because I was recently at the Venetian in the 100K and made it to day 2, and out of 900 players, went out in 102nd. And lost aces to kings. Didn't have that opportunity, but now I'm getting a little bit wiser to spot those situations. And you can do it. You really can. And the way you described it, it's kind of black and white.
But yeah, to answer your question, there's no really set rules on how to play the game.
Everybody's for themselves. Every man is for himself.
Yeah, I mean, we all have very good success in tournaments, so I think that we're going to be really selective with who joins the team. I don't want, like you said, I don't want to carry anybody.
Right.
But at the same time, like we're all gonna have our lows, and that's what the team is for. Is so that if I'm having a low and Nate's running good, then we all make money on that.
Right.
And vice versa for all of us. So, but no, I don't think we don't play any differently because we're playing on a team bankroll.
But
right?
now let's say Damon Shulenburger decided that. He's going to raise for his bluff for his whole tournament life. That's fine. I'm going to give the man kudos for that.
But we might have to take him out back and beat him after the tournament.
Damn it, but I still give you props for just, I think it takes a little refining. Bluffing's not always going to work out. I think that's the ultimate plunge, but you might catch a little team slack, but we're going to not disarm you over it. We're going to have fun with you.
I felt great about my play at that. I think you're referring to that $500 game.
The 595 PH.
Yeah. And I was I was bossing a couple tables, man. I had 140K, and then I ran this huge bluff. I put him on a pair, and he actually had ace-king on a king-high board, which I didn't put him on. So if I knew what he had, I wouldn't have done it. But, it didn't work out. I would have been like the chip leader if if it worked out. But
yeah, just to keep everybody updated, Damon was playing the 500K at the Planet Hollywood, and yeah, well, I guess the rest is history. But but that was a really big tournament. But yeah, I mean, kudos. Rudy said the same thing when he heard how you went out. So
I think it was a Sam Trickett move. If I was going to categorize it, it's like what Sam Trickett always does, and he gets a lot of flack for it. He's doing really well. He's got a big stack, and then he just takes it just a little bit too far, and he loses everything.
And that's the thing.
Yeah, with one pair of hands, if you had like a big river shove, a lot of pros won't call with one pair of hands.
I know. I mean,
so it's not even with ace king.
Yeah.
And like, can the guy really call? I don't know what the stacks were, but
So this is basically the situation was that he underrepped the ace king by just smooth calling in the big blind. So he was big blind. I didn't know what to put him on. The flop comes like king something something, and anyway, I wind up with a double gutter. So I do a semi bluff on the turn for about 25K, and when that blanks out, I say, well, he didn't seem that strong. He's just been kind of calling. I'm going to put him in
your big ass.
Well,
turned out he had ace king.
Angel's big ass is going to come join us.
I like the move. However, you had so many chips.
Yeah.
I think personally, I might have sat
Yeah.
with a lot of that. Played some premiums, but you know, you're an active player, and that's just who you are. You know, so that's okay.
That table was pretty sick too. I mean, there were a lot of sharks there. There was one guy who's playing in the 10-20 cash games over at the Bellagio because he can't find any others bigger these days. So, you know, I mean, these guys weren't fooling around. About 3 or 4 of them were pretty, you know, they seem to have big egos, at least, let's put it that way. They seem to think they were big, you know, players.
Of course.
But you could have saw instead of semi-bluffing, you could have checked behind and had a free card.
I could have, man. I totally screwed that shit up.
Or you could have stopped after the turn.
You know, even like done a read and really, I didn't know him. He had just come onto the table like 15 minutes before, and I didn't know his tendencies really. So that was another issue. He looked very careful because he would take a lot of time between decisions, but in fact, it seems like he's a bit of a station. So whatever.
Yeah.
Bit of a calling station, eh?
Yeah, he definitely was because he only had he had ace king. Okay, so
he probably had exactly the minimum of what he needed to call. If you had king queen, king jack, king 10,
easy fold.
Jacks, queens, nines, all those are probably going to fold out.
I was repping an ace king. I thought, but he had it, so fuck it.
Oh, he had the ace king.
Yeah.
He was
and you had the king 10.
I had jack 10. He was in the big blind too, and I was in like hijack. So I mean, I have no idea what he would have ace king and just smooth call at that point. Kind of weird.
Well, that's rough.
Yeah,
that sucks. Especially when
it's a bad break when they call.
Your expectations go up so much more when you have chips.
Yeah,
and something big like that.
Yeah, it was just going on into the final level of the first day, like with about 200 players left out of 900, and I think something like 90 got paid, so it really sucked. 100K guaranteed, first prize.
I'm folding right there if that was me in the big blind.
Well, you're not running a bluff like that.
Yeah.
I'll run a bluff like that on the flop, but that's it.
I didn't know the flop. I thought you were pre-flop.
Wait, you're gonna fold pre-flop?
No, pre-flop.
No.
How many chips did you have?
He didn't show.
He had enough.
No, he started making the plays after the flop.
I rarely make that type of play. If anyone knew me, they would have insta-mucked because I'm pretty tight, actually.
Trying to decide what kind of player you are, Damon.
Oh, so it was like one of those rare times when you find your nuts and go for it, and it didn't work. So you're just like, I'm gonna man up this time.
Yeah, I pick my spots really carefully.
Well, you said you were running over the table, right? You were the boss.
Well, I think I had established that reputation, but I had good cards. I just happened to be, like one of these, pro, semi-pro guys, whatever. Yeah, $10 Bellagio player. He thought I had pulled a bluff on him when it was a semi-bluff, but with good cards, good draws. So yeah, maybe my image was a little looser than usual, for sure.
And that doesn't really help.
No, I should have really thought about it. But this player had only come in 15 minutes ago. He didn't really know, who I was. So I figured, I would have respected his shove for sure, and I would have folded if that put my tournament life at risk, But, it's difficult to say. Sometimes you make a play. If it works, you're like a genius. If it doesn't work, you're like the dog, the absolute dog. I think Coleman made a couple of those plays during the one drop, man. If Esfandiari had made the right call against his pre-flop shoves a couple times, Coleman just would have been another upstart punk, but he got him through and he went on. So
I sometimes think that if you could avoid playing, you avoid bullets, but you have to play to win. So you have to be very selective.
Yeah.
And I've won a few tournaments just by surviving and then getting it in at the right times at the very, very end. Like when I won that Bally's Main last month, I played very little. Well, I didn't get a lot of hands, but regardless, I played very little. I just got to the very end. There was monster stacks, and just by staying out of pots, I avoided a lot of bullets. But realistically, when you get down to the end, tensions grow. People do irrational things. They push their chips around too much, and if you could capitalize, if you could get yourself to the end at those points, you could really take a lot of chips.
By the way, you got a lot of echo on your voice. You sound like you're like in the Death Star and like talking down.
Why do I have a lot of echo? What's going on with that?
It's just something that Skype's not perfect.
Hold on. Let me see what I can do.
Well, the thing is, too, the Bally's tournament, I'm echoing too, aren't I?
No, not really.
Okay.
I think we're all close together, that's why.
In the Bally's tournament, I
on different computers.
And Rudy, I was actually doing really well. I had the chip lead. And I made one bad decision, of course, and then I was fighting for my life after that. But yeah, he opened up. He was such a short stack, and he got to that final table, and he opened up and played beautifully all the way down to first place.
Were you railing it?
I got knocked out in 7.
That's perfect.
Oh, so you were there on the rail then? You saw every hand.
We played the whole tournament together, and I sat down on the table as the chip leader. And I made a bad decision with pocket eights. I ran into aces.
I see.
But Rudy played so selective, and he took it all the way down to first, even though the guy, they were trying to work a chop and stuff. They couldn't agree on exactly what, and Rudy and Nate and Angel and I were railing Rudy, and we wouldn't let him chop it. We said, no, you're good enough to win this. You need this. Yeah, the guy wanted the trophy, and then chopped the money, and we playing. So, and he won.
We did chop it a little.
Yeah, they chopped a little, but I mean.
They still played for a specific amount of money and the trophy.
And the trophy,
yeah, we took $6K each and played for the other 6,600.
If not,
and the trophy. The other 600.
For first. 4,600 per second.
But it kind of goes to show if you wait for your spot or you wait for your time in the tournament, you can win it, because he struggled to stay in the whole time and then won, whereas I had an easy tournament and ended up going out in 7.
Yeah, definitely the play determined. Like, it's up until I came here and started playing live again, I would, online, I'd always shove, like, ace-9 suited, everything above that, maybe even 7s, at, like, 18 to 21 big blinds. If there was no one showed strength. But I can't do that here. I'm blinding myself a lot lower.
Yeah. Well, one guy...
Not lower than 10, really, but...
There was a guy in Sacramento that we played on a poker table with in one of the smallest dailies, but he said something that stuck with me ever since, and he said that the chips that you have are worth more in the pot. And I don't know, Rudy and I have been evaluating that over and over, and it means more now than it did 10 years ago to us, Yeah. But that's such a true statement to make. It's true. You could put your whole tournament for a bluff, and it's usually going to work, actually. But that time it doesn't, it's going to hurt too bad, and there you go, But yeah, there's our motto.
I'm not much of a bluffer till I get heads up, and then you're bluffing like crazy, but,
You still get a semi-bluff, and it makes
semi-bluff, yeah.
Make your position bets are really huge. I mean, you've got to be able to, if it's checked to you, you've got to be able to have the balls to throw your money out there.
And we get to play online, so we get a lot of weird things happen to us on a daily basis.
How has it been since you've been there? Is it what you would expected, or did you expect that you or Rudy would have made an $80,000 score by now? Or
Honestly, we haven't put ourselves in that situation yet. And Rudy, he's done the best. I mean, he won 20,000 last year, and that was excellent. And then this year, he took down the Valley's main, and we've been keeping going with a lot of small caches. You're not going to find us very often at, like, in the Hendon Mob or anything like that, because, like, a lot of our caches are, like, the dailies, and you know what I mean? They don't really count much. But still keep going for a couple thousand, so that's cool. And then now the online's back. We play every day online.
Oh,
and,
good.
yeah, I was running really good. I final tabled 8 days in a row. I cashed out for $2,300 in a week, and haven't been able to do anything since. But
that's how it works sometimes.
It's been really rough.
You moved to Washington, Kenny, where online poker is a felony.
Yeah, I know.
How does that make you feel?
Well, I'm playing live. I don't have any bankroll on anything, so I mean.
Yeah, but I mean, playing online is so easy. You just get up, put your pajamas on.
I'm definitely better online.
You're better online?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I have no live experience.
What do you think about online poker, Damon?
I'm more of a live player. I mean, I had some success at online tournaments back in the day with Full Tilt, but then I just treat it like toy money, and I just donk it away on cash games. So I didn't have the self-control to really do well. But in a live setting, the money means a lot more. I think more about the decisions. And I'm having more fun because it's like a social, environment.
It definitely is more
like
fun
a game when you're playing online.
But the thing is, I think
it's slower than watching paint dry.
Yeah. And the thing is, you still have the same variance, so basically, I think a person gets these false opinions of their play or changes their play based on what's going on live, because it seems like I'm always losing. Because everyone's always losing in poker.
Well,
I mean, that's just a fact.
So let me just give you some perspective. I think it's important to have experience playing online because you learn about invariance and you just play so many hands. So like for a couple of years I played a ton, and I just learned, you kind of learn the patterns and the basics so that you're not going to get super tilted, because you are going to hit a lot of variance live, and that could be a whole week of play because it's so damn slow if you just hit a few bad beats live, whereas online you just crank up another game. So having that perspective has helped me a lot, because I go into a live tournament expecting to lose. The money I put in there is dead money, which I don't expect to see back, but I try my best not to lose, obviously.
Right.
So,
well, if definitely, what I was trying to say is, if I have like 4 MTTs going on at once, I'm not so disappointed because I got 3 others I'm pulling up. And if you're playing a specific style online, you're going to have chips in one of them. So if you're just going to like 1 a day or 1 a week, or then you could lose for a month, a year. You'd lose for a year playing correctly.
I know exactly what you're saying, and I'll tell you what I've done to avoid that. It's one, again, when I do enter a live tournament, I look at it as a fun event, social event, one that I'm playing for fun as well as for money, so that even if I do bust out, I had a good time, I learned something, I met some new people. Number 2, if I do bust out, I use that as like motivation to like write more of my book or do something productive. So it's like, even if I lose, I win in a sense, because it's motivating me to try harder. That's my psychological trick for live, which does have so much variance on a specific tournament level, and you cannot crank on 10 games in a day. It's just not going to happen. Yeah.
Or even if you're not successful, you have some other way of earning money or having success, or the portion of what you wagered wasn't significant to you, and so your whole emotion, all those emotions that come with that, valid because you're just like whatever.
Exactly. I mean, it's like poker is part of a continuum that includes other aspects of life that are not poker. So, yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
So, Damon,
Yeah.
you were the on-sale radio blogger for the World Series of Poker this year. Did you get your credentials back today?
Dude, yeah, I did. Dude, it's sweet. The problem is, man, I have to freaking go all the way. I have to like rent a car to Tahoe, got this family gathering, and then come back on like the 9th, drive all night, I guess, and do it. But I'm gonna do it, dude. I'm excited. I'm amped. You know, it's not only that, but me and Tigger are working on a WSOP companion book, actually, apparently, which we're gonna combine strategy with bios of the players, just the tournament as it evolved with all the major hands, and just create something which, you know, before people watch the final 9 or after, they'll just want to get the background to create a more interest and depth into what they're watching. So it's kind of like a new concept in poker writing. And, you know, Tigger is a great writer. You know Tigger, right? Nathan, you're the guy who introduced us.
Yes. Yeah, I know Tigger.
He's an unforgettable guy. He used to be a bouncer at a famous Minneapolis nightclub where they filmed Purple Rain, and he and his wife were just in Vegas recently. We were hanging out with Dutch Boyd and Mark Hoke and a bunch of players, and I kicked their ass at.
I have some issues. I'm still mad at myself for not being there.
Dude, you were in like major pain, three teeth out or some shit. You know.
Did you guys rail Dutch? Didn't he did one?
Oh yeah, he won a silver bracelet this year at the World Series, and yeah, I was there on the rail. I gave him a hug when he came off. It was so fun, so great.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Did he cry?
No, he's Dutch Boyd, not Brett Favre.
He's not Matt Affleck.
Yeah, he didn't cry.
I would cry. I'm a crier for sure. I'd cry.
Him too.
Did he get like
the bracelet this year? I was hoping it was going to be bigger than the $1,000 no limit hold'em, but that's still a third bracelet. That's awesome.
Yeah, was it 6 figures?
Yeah.
Oh,
of course.
Oh yeah, it was 260, I believe. 260,000.
Oh, so he's and then. Yeah, that's great timing for with this book and stuff. It's like almost just it's like meant to be, isn't it?
Exactly. But he had to like he really needed the money at the time because I think he got hit with like a $60,000 lawsuit from
Mason Milmo.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Yeah. So have you read Dutch's book?
Yeah, in fact, I read the pre-release. Nate had a couple pre-releases. He sent me one. I read it right here on my computer. If that was the whole book.
You got it. It was just about the whole book. You get the book so that you can read it. There are some spots in the book that weren't in the first copy that I got.
It's a great story, and really, what I have a lot in common with him. But I didn't have any idea how close he was to running. I didn't know he ran his own site and that they had success with that early on and stuff. So it's a great story. In fact, it's better than some of Dolly's autobiographies.
Texas Dolly is who you're talking about,
right? And like I love his capability to be honest. And if you ever met someone in life that has that capability to just be who they are, regardless of how it'll be defined by the people around them, it's just great. Like when you're around someone like that, you know. As long as they're happy. When they're not happy, you don't want to be around. This is a big bag of mush.
He seems like a really cool guy. I mean, I know he has bipolar issues, and that's great that he's like working through them. I mean, that's what more can you do?
Yeah, in fact, his move at his World Series was kind of like yours. You know, he thought his bluff would get through because it was way too much, and Moneymaker didn't know better.
I mean, the difference.
He's like, I call.
Yeah, I mean the difference is that there's a $10,000 buy-in versus a $500 buy-in. For $500, a lot of people look you up with Ace King and a King on board.
Yeah.
With $10,000 on the line, it's a little different. I think that's a big problem that I encountered is that I'm studying these high stakes players, and those plays don't work unless there's a lot of money on the line. They don't.
Anybody's going to lay down that.
Yeah.
That's a big hand, really.
Well, I don't know what you guys do in your regular life, but if you're not involved in what is that? If a very dark game.com. If you're not, like, I would assume because you guys are in Vegas, you're getting to play a lot, and that's my definition of success, is just being able to keep playing. I love it that much. I just want to keep playing. It's when I don't have the money to play that it's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? You know, and but when because I'm not in Las Vegas. I do watch a lot of videos. I watch all the Poker Stars TV stuff that comes out, all the episodes of everything. And honestly, those river shoves that blank out, the guy with Ace King doesn't call.
No, never.
And it doesn't have to do with I don't think it's a buy-in that has anything to do with it either. It's just no, I'm not talking about like the fact that what they're playing for is more to them, because I don't think they see that money as significantly as we would $500.
I disagree because I think there's two types of players in these high stakes. There's a businessman who just buy in and it doesn't matter to them; they'll just play for fun. And then there's the grinders, the pros who are they're staked, they're cross booking action, they're got a piece of each other. They definitely are eking out a living at $100K a pop. It means a lot to them because not only they have, let's say it's $100K. They got $20K of their own money in there.
Well, I think the biggest thing is when you're analyzing when you should be making that call. Depends on where you're at in the tournament. Honestly, I'm making that call late in the tournament, and I'm folding it all day early. Where you shoved, I'm calling all day. Whereas opposed to the first 10 rounds, I'm folding it in a heartbeat. There's too much variance in the beginning. A lot of people playing a lot of hands, whereas late, the whole dynamics change.
Yeah,
they're more selective late.
For sure, and that's a big hand late. And as you know, the difference between online and live is you have to take advantage of your big hands, whereas online you could ditch it, move directly to the next one, and move right along and avoid that importance of taking advantage of the big hand. Ace King
I've noticed, online when you want to see another card, but you have to lead or you're going to get bombed, and so you're trying to just put a small bet out there that hopefully the guy will only just call.
All too well when you're online and you want to see another card. Yeah.
And like if you bet like even like a quarter pot or something, a lot of the times you're just going to get completely
destroyed,
re-raised, or they're going to jam on you.
Yeah, when you make a button raise and the big blind jams all in, and
yeah.
Yeah.
I've noticed live I can get away with these smaller bets just getting called than I can online.
You know what it is? I think online, that's what it's like a video game. You're playing with other people. It's almost like until you cash out and you have that money in your hand. Whoa! It's until you cash out and you have that money in your hand, it doesn't seem real. And people kind of play accordingly to that.
Yeah.
So it's just virtual. Everything's virtual. Virtual chips, virtual money. Everything's virtual. But it is real money. I mean, I know. Like I said, I cashed out I think $2,300 in a matter of just a few days. But I had to get it out of there, or I would have just been an idiot with it. You know, I had to get it offline, and now I'm putting money back online.
How do you like how easy it is to get money offline here in the bank?
Oh, it's so easy to cash out here too, because on WSOP, I haven't done the whole where they just put it right back into your bank account yet, but I just go down to the cage at the Rio and they give you cash within a couple hours. You know, it's they say it takes up to 36 hours, but it's never taken them that long. I usually have it. I usually get the email within about 3 or 4 hours. I can go get my money.
Yeah, I know, that's great.
It's amazing.
I'd love to experience that.
I can't wait until we go interstate or intrastate, whatever it's called.
I usually never played close enough to where like I needed the money that quickly. Like it wasn't like, oh, I won something, I gotta get that $300 so I can go pay rent or whatever. You know, it was never like that close.
No, but you know, when I cash out, you know, one of those people like I want it as soon as possible. You know, it's not like I'm the same thing. Like I have a business, so poker isn't my only source of income. But I don't want to wait for a check in the mail either. You know, I want to have the cash in, because we have a bankroll. Like we separate our bankrolls from our bill money and stuff like that. So, and I of course like to see the bankroll grow, which it's not right now, but hopefully it'll start growing again. I'm gonna try again tonight.
I'm gonna have to hit up another Bally's.
She took a night off last night. No poker.
I took 2 nights. I've been off for 2 days from poker. I've taken a break. I think I'm fresh tonight. Yeah, I didn't play.
Do you guys direct buy into these larger ones, or do you like say, okay, I'm gonna try 3 satellites. If it doesn't work, then I won't play.
You haven't yet. Are you talking about online tournaments?
Yeah, I don't know. We're getting feedback for some reason.
Are you talking about online tournaments, Ken?
No, I'm talking about live, like Bally's. Did you buy in?
Oh no, I just bought right into that.
It wasn't that much. It was only $200-something. How much was it? 200.
It was $240.
Yeah, $240 for their main event. So yeah, it was a pretty small main event, but hey, he has a trophy.
I know the trophy is cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool looking trophy.
That's good. You guys need more trophies.
We almost didn't play it too because we thought we were joining another tournament, and we showed up down there short money, and they're like, "Oh no, it's the main event." So we had to go to the ATM and pull out more money, and then we both final tabled. So it ended up being a really good day.
Yeah, you're like, thank God we played that, honey.
Last year at the
right, ready?
We almost couldn't play that deep stack that Rudy chopped 3 ways. You know, we almost couldn't play that too because it didn't end up starting until 8 o'clock at night because of the millionaire maker.
Well, as you know, Nate's really involved when WSOP rolls into town. Were you guys more involved this year? Now that you guys are good friends, or you guys are friends, good friends now, or?
Well,
what? Of course.
I just met these guys.
Like, did you spend more time at the Rio than you normally would have? The most time this year, as opposed to previous years.
In fact, we didn't even really see Nate at the World Series.
So
we stopped by. We stopped by and said hi. But
were you guys like grinding? You were grinding the dailies, though, right?
Yeah, we did a lot of deep
for a while.
But
yeah.
You know what? They changed the structure this year, and it's really hard to cash in it now.
They made it faster.
Yeah, they took some levels out, and it's really, really tough now. Way tougher than last year.
Oh, you have to gamble and fade some stuff, a lot more stuff, huh?
Kenny got to see me get just crushed in the Caesars tournament, right? I get it in more than good, and the guy goes runner flush on me.
I won that one.
Yeah, you did. That was absolutely amazing too.
That's another reason why I moved here is, you know, I did have success online, but in the trips I was winning, I was having to sell because with the 2 kids, and now that the kids are here, I won't have to sell them.
You won't have to sell, dude. You will not have to sell the kids. That's great news.
I know, right? You're not going to sell them? Well, call me if you do.
We have 2 great kids.
I'm the girl. I'm Bella.
Actually, the one I sold to Jonathan Little, and he went and played. It was in the Caribbean, the Punta Cana, and the other one was the Latin series of poker.
Yeah, do you guys know each other?
No, but I know that I know that he knows Pam and Colo, and like he's been involved with them and stuff. So when it was him, when he contacted me on 2+2, I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll just transfer it. And he's like, I'll just send you a check in the mail. And because it was him, I didn't have to like.
Sorry, you're talking about Carter.
No,
Right?
I mean, do you and Damon know each other?
Damon Shulenburger.
No.
He's the Ironman champion. He's in the Guinness Book of World's Record for winning the longest tournament without a break.
Dude, I was just randomly trolling around the internet today, and I find a Daily Mirror article on 5 best poker Guinness Book of World Records, and I'm number 2. That's cool.
Yeah, so he won the Ironman event, and Ken is a monster online when it comes to winning like seats and like cruises and stuff like that.
That's because the guy that pretty much mentored me is Jeff. Everyone knows him as Jeff Schumann. Everyone knows him as Shu, and Shu, his forte is satellite tournaments. And
so you've been on a few of these poker cruises, right? How about an Ironman poker cruise?
No, he sells them. He sells his seats.
Okay. I'm joking.
No, anything big that I've won my way into, I'm 3 for 3 on not playing, including the World Series.
Okay,
so,
gotcha.
So yeah, by moving here, it's going to change that because I can just say, okay, honey, we're going to the Caribbean, for a week, and then my parents can watch the kids.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how I met Kenny. Was in Reno at a WPT event that he won a seat to.
Oh,
yeah, and the majority of that was from Hog Wild. It was like because I had like 2 or 3 $500 staking, so I had $1,500 from them and like $3 or $4 grand of my own.
How far were you behind in the $10,000 WSOP race, or the $13,000 WSOP race that I ended up taking down? How far behind in that were you?
Oh, well, you have to realize I hadn't really been playing about 2 years at that point. I knew once you reach a certain point, if you do the math, you can't do it, then you kind of drop. But I have no idea. I think I was in the top 50, maybe top 30, maybe.
Then like drop the whole thing, so you don't have princess.
Sorry, we're still trying to technical difficulties. Yeah.
Because having like,
but yeah, definitely moving to Vancouver changed my plans as far as that goes.
Well, it's really like to see you playing some live events, Kenny. I know you can do it.
But when I was at the WPT, was that the last trophy you won still?
Yeah.
But you've won stuff, but nothing they gave a trophy out for.
No, I mean I've won plenty of tournaments. I just like that particular one. You got a hat for making the final table, and I haven't had a hat since then.
Yeah, right.
We don't get hats in Vegas.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I went deep in like 3 of those tournaments.
Yeah, you did really well.
I got second in one, and that's how. And that I would recognize Rudy and Heather and talk to them.
So then I met Nate at Stratosphere, and turned out he knew Kenny. So that was kind of weird.
Yeah. No. I mean, Nate, it's good you guys got together. So far, hopefully it's meant to be this little team.
So I got to ask you guys. I'm gonna have to leave pretty soon, but I have a question. As everyone knows, they're having the Dan Bilzerian lookalike contest at the Marquee on the 25th, and I'm trying to grow out my beard. Do you think I can then?
The picture that they showed, yeah, you probably could.
Dude, I'm gonna win that 10K on the line, dude. I hate Bilzerian's guts, but 10K is 10K, and I can grow a beard. So
you're gonna try to look like him.
Is he mean to people or?
No, I mean just what he represents. He goes out and
trust fund kid mostly. That's easy to hate.
That's kind of it. Yeah, he just kind of annoys me.
Trust fund, it wouldn't be so bad, but it was all stolen money from his father.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but if it's all PR, then you can't really blame him.
Actually, yeah. There's been new kind of gossip coming out that he's not that rich and he's just kind of like trying to become a reality star and all this shit. So who knows? I mean, God bless him. God bless America.
So, Damon, since you're still on, I know that you should probably tell us a little bit about your book.
So this is really exciting. I just picked up an agent about yesterday, actually. She for my mystery thriller novel, Arasagawa Park. That's a kind of literary novel, and then I got this other book I've been writing on in case I didn't get an agent, and it's it's called A Very Dark Game, Poker's $1 Million Tournament, and finds my own photos I took of the tournament, my own reporting from the tournament, and then a lot of analysis, and then kind of looking at the backstories as they relate to these high-stakes poker players. It could be, you know, I'll give you a taste of some of the chapters. We got the circus master. We have Guy La Liberté, the entrepreneurial visionary behind the One Drop, which describes this charity and so forth, and his poker thing. And also the circus master who not only bent over but supplied the lube. That's about his allegations of collusion, where he lost $27 million online. So he described himself as the guy from Shawshank Redemption who bent over and got, you know, kind of screwed.
So, Damon, how did you come up with the name A Very Dark Game?
Well, this is Dan Coleman's favorite quote, famous quote. You know, after he won $15 million, here this, you know, young kid, 24 years old from Boston, who nobody, I mean, online fans know him as a crusher, but nobody really knew who he was, and he refused to talk to the media. Everyone was pissed off at him. Daniel Negreanu said, well, you know, you got to promote the sport. I mean, that's what it's about. That's part of it. And he wrote like a mini essay saying that he didn't support, you know, sponsorship and being a media person because poker is a very dark game, addictive, and blah, blah, blah. So I took that as a title because I thought it's kind of catchy and people remember it.
Did you, so is your title because you agree, or are you kind of being a little facetious with that title?
Well, no, I mean, I think it is a dark game, and that's what I like. I'm a mystery thriller writer. I love the dark side of life, so don't get me wrong. It's something I can appreciate very much, and I just think it's a kind of, I think it's an interesting way to look at a tournament like the One Drop by looking at kind of dark stories surrounding the players.
So when you say very dark, are you referring to the whole game of poker or just the $1 million buy-in?
No, I think it refers to poker as a sport. You know, there's some people say that you know, the poker media should be more honest about the fact that, you know, they should take into consideration the buy-ins, not just the wins when they talk about players. They should, you know, take into consideration how hard it is to make a living at poker instead of saying, well, yeah, you know, moneymaker, he did a $40 satellite and here he is and you can do it too. Okay, you know. So I think there's a bit of criticism of the way poker is portrayed in the media at work as well. It's not just like it's a very dark game, you know. So yeah.
So you can you, so when you say, so when you name your book this title and you're saying it's a very dark game,
yeah,
you're essentially agreeing with Daniel Coleman?
No, this is what I wrote. I said, long time, I'm quoting, as a longtime aficionado of a maddening game, I have a deep-seated appreciation for the subtleties of poker and the personal trials involved in making a living at a liar's profession. Quote, I feel a deep respect for the One Drop participants, many of whom scrapped their way by poker wiles alone into positions where they could compete with millions of dollars on the line. At the core of this endeavor, then, whatever unsavory stories emerge, is a passion for poker and the players who risk it all. So you can tell which side of the camp I'm in. I look at Coleman's views, and I don't just say they're wrong, but I also try to convey that there's more to poker than simply it being a dark game. And I think Coleman is, he's also saying that in a way, because he's continued to play poker and crush, all these tournaments, and he obviously loves the game too. So I think it's worth exploring what he wrote about, but it's certainly not the theme of my book. I look at Phil Ivey, I look at Daniel Negreanu and Phil Ivey's prop bet at the WSOP. I look at the high roller games in Macau. I look at Jungleman Kate's and the Durr Challenge. I look at a lot of different high stakes things. So it's a lot broader, I'd say.
So it's a dark game.
It's a dark and stormy game.
Keep your kids away from Texas Hold'em.
It was a dark and stormy game.
I mean, I remember my family playing at the kitchen table, sharing laughs and cigars.
Yeah.
But to each their own. I mean, I really feel I have a lot of entertainment with it. I just relating it to dark and evil, it gives it almost a negative tint, but it's almost interesting. I like it. I mean, I like the title.
The problem is that people got to recognize that they have to take responsibility for what they're buying into and what they're playing. Like it doesn't. For me, it's not dark. When I first discovered it, I was like, "Oh my god, I can play this game. I love games, and I can win money. I play. You win $200. You're like, wow, I just made this out of nothing."
Especially recreationally, it's almost like we all know we have to get up, go to work, we have to pay our bills and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's a hobby, and if you can make money at it, cool.
And everyone has different individual experiences. So if this guy, maybe Daniel, maybe he has some very close personal stories of people he knows that have taken out second mortgages, things like that, really has destroyed their life, and maybe he has more of those than I have, and so his experience is, man, this game's really ruining people,
Well, Coleman, I think, has probably got some religious guilt complexes, possibly. That's kind of where I'm going with it, what I'm thinking. I mean, it obviously isn't that he's had to sell his house to keep playing. He's got tons of money. He might feel guilty for taking money. I don't know what it is, but for him to make a quote like that.
I think that, I think you're right that it kind of has a negative connotation. It also might.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, if I was a teenager and I saw poker, a very dark game, that's the first fucking thing I'd want to do is play poker, man.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh yeah, give me some of this very dark game, man.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I don't think you're advocating it by calling it a dark game.
No, I'm not. But I'm just saying it's not all bad. It's kind of cool in a way. So
no, but I mean, the people have control over their own decisions.
Yeah.
And until people take responsibility for their own decisions, they're choosing to play at whatever level they're playing at. And at that, if they're playing at a level where it is going to be real freaking dark, if they lose, that's their issue. It doesn't, So if you're playing $50 dailies, right, and you're making $80,000, $90,000 a year in your regular job, it's not dark to you. It can't be.
I'm thinking of that. I'm thinking of that $1 million buy-in as a dark game for sure. I don't see it as the game in a whole a dark game, but when I think of the book that you're writing about, the $1 million one drop, you got to come in with $1 million, play a card game. I get it's going to be cutthroat. It's going to be there's going to be some interests involved, and I can see that title being fitting for that game.
There's a lot of dark stories surrounding people with that kind of money, believe me, and that's kind of where I took it. Yeah, I don't draw any extrapolation for low stakes recreational players, those who enjoy it as a social activity, a way of having fun, and I certainly don't say that in the book. And for me, I find the darkness, again, it's kind of attractive. There's something seductive about $1 million. It's like, Dr. Evil, like, $1 million, but, although for charity. But, and just the fact that Dan Coleman came up with this quote directly after his win in that particular tournament, that's the main reason why I chose it. Because
he probably was feeling dark because he only had like 10% of it or whatever.
It's a dark.
He's like, good grief! If I can't believe how much of this I have to pay off to people who didn't earn it.
I'm just curious, is that when you said I think the game in a whole is dark, I was curious with your thoughts, and of course everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I respect yours. Obviously you came and sat on my couch and and it's pretty cool guy, but
Thanks,
I was
man.
just curious what your thought was there as to why it's dark. So,
well, yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't really think it's dark, but I myself had an experience where I was going to grad school and I got it, pretty much addicted to online on full tilt, and I probably donked away like $10,000 that way, and that felt pretty dark at the time. So
yeah,
that's
what
where
I was going to say too. When you
felt like a jackass.
No,
it was dark, man. It's not.
When your decisions are causing you harm post tournament, it does become very dark. When you have somebody else relying on you, and you say, "I'm going to go and play this $80 tournament," right? And then you come home and you rebought twice and added on once, and you've spent $300, and you guys couldn't afford that or whatever. That becomes dark.
It can add up quickly with these rebuys, but again, that said, I don't see it that way because I find that poker is a great teacher because I learned to conquer that, and I've come through on the other end, and I can control, myself very well, and I take great pleasure in poker, and and just the strategy and the psychology and the camaraderie of playing at the table. I love it. It's the thing I love more than anything in sports or anything. So, I'm certainly not the one to say that poker is a dark game, but Coleman said it, and he won the tournament. So I just thought it's a catchy quote. Everyone knows it. It's kind of famous. Right. It'll make a good book title.
It is.
Yeah.
Not just being dark, but I think poker is kind of more of a counterculture too. I mean, none of us are normal people. None of us want to have a 9 to 5. None of, you know what I mean? Like it's just it's more of a subculture, which can be, I guess, perceived as dark because it's not the normal, set the alarm, go to work, come home, like if we do it as a means to an end, and then we go right back to doing what we know.
But we're all, in the basic core of all our essence, we have adventurous spirits. And we tend to not have things planned out, and it's more exciting to have the unknown, whether it be really great, like 160,000 WSOP bracelet, or losing. It's still that's the excitement.
About poker players, I've noticed is we have no problem taking each other's money. We all know that. But I mean, there was an example. I was playing in a tournament, and this lady had in her cup holder, she got knocked out, and she left a couple 20s. I didn't know exactly how much it was, but it was a few 20s that she left in her cup holder. And one of the guys got up off the table and chased her out of the room to give her money back. And I'm thinking, if that happens on a blackjack table or in the casino, that's not going to happen. But we want to take your money, but we don't want to steal it from you. You know what I mean? Like we want to beat you in a pot, but we're not going to steal what you forgot. Does that make sense?
It does.
When I was learning to play live poker, I can't tell you how many times a player would say, "Hey, look, kid, you might want to protect your cards. I can see what you got." And that saved me a lot of money. They didn't have to do it, but they did. And
it's a dark game.
Oh, man. I've made some pretty silly amateur live mistakes. I don't know what you guys' worst live mistake, but there's one guy that got...
Thinking I had a straight when I didn't was probably one of my most embarrassing moments.
Well, throwing away a flush on the end of the winner.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you literally are convinced that you have a straight and you throw it down, you're proud of it, and you're like, wait, what?
There's one story of a Macau game with the high roller. I think it's Andrew Mosley, and he thinks he's what happened? Oh yeah, so these high stakes business players, he puts in like $1 million on the river, right? and Andrew Mosley thinks it's not a all-in move. It's just a min bet because the movement was so slight. But he finds that, and he says call or whatever, and it puts him all in, and it's like $1 million, and he didn't realize it. And then it turns out the guy was bluffing. He wins the pot anyway.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, I had ace queen and clubs. I raised. The guy who I thought just got stacked the hand before re-raised for like 5,300, which is what I thought was the rest of his stack. I said call and flip my hand over, but he had like another 11,000 behind, and so it came like king queen 6 or something, and I was like, okay, I'm all in. And he had ace king. I'm like, man, that's the easiest hand you're ever gonna play.
So I got a question. Have any of you had an experience where you misread the cards on the board somehow? You think you have a straight or something and you don't, and you push all in or something, and because your conviction is such that you do have it in the nuts, even though you made a mistake, people fold to you and you win the pot.
No.
I mean, it can happen.
I don't remember, but nothing quite like that.
Yeah.
If I got it, I know I got it.
If it would work better if the guy was more of he was more of a person reader, because if you completely believe you have it, then his read's going to be like, I'm no good here.
Yeah, online it doesn't work, but in live setting, it's happened to me. Anyway, guys, I gotta probably run because I'm meeting a friend for pizza for dinner. So I'll catch up with you guys at your next show, and it's been really great to talk.
Okay, nice talking to you. Good luck with the book.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Congratulations with the agent too.
Thank you, man. It's all coming together, and me and Nate Dogg have been talking strategy to get this book out, and look for a in a couple weeks, and there should be a book out.
Dark Game.
Cool.
Nice talking to you, Damon.
Thanks. Bye.
Talk to you soon, buddy. That was Damon Shulenburger, World Series of Poker, or not World Series, but the Iron Man of poker. So he's a great guy, great person, and Angel's throwing up 7s at me for some reason.
It's 7 o'clock!
Oh, it is 7 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
7:10. That's a very quick hour. Our debut of the Big Ass Poker Show is just about complete here.
So, I think so. Over complete.
Over complete.
Are we still on the air?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you can tell us, right?
Right now with Vegas Live. He's dominating the table. I don't know if he's tuned in, if he could hear us, but he's here.
Well, I'm still wearing my lays, my cuckoo nut lays at the poker table. It's just, for some reason, I think it brings me luck. So even though I'm in,
hilarious.
I'm not
Just said
why.
Heather's still got one that you gave her.
Gave me.
It's weird. I still wear them here in Portland, but I don't know what people think of me. But
You miss the water?
Yeah, extremely. But
why did you move back? What was the decision there? Why did you move out of Hawaii to Washington?
My wife's business, also the schools for the kids. It's expensive, and then I wanted to be able to take my shots when I want them online.
Okay.
Hi, Bella. I see you.
So there was a combination of stuff, but
Hawaii sounds so cool, though.
yeah, but 13 years, it was a good run.
Wow, you were there that long, huh?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's time to man up, and
we thank you for tuning in to the Big Ass Poker Show tonight. We will be back next week with hopefully a little bit better technical setup, and maybe we'll even have our big logo up on the Big Ass Nocky board here. So you guys want to say your goodbyes?
Bye, bitches.
Bye.
See you later, Kenny. Nice talking to you again.
And please let us know how you felt about us being on Ustream and on Tilt Radio at the same time. We really want feedback to know what we could do and what we can do better.
Okay.
All right, we'll talk to you next
soon, Nate, on my own. Okay.
Later.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, off the air. I think. I hope.
Somebody's still saying hello.
No, that's me saying off the air.
That's our producer. That's who we want to talk to.